I love RWBY. And by God, hearing that a new volume is going to be coming out after 2 full years has got me pumped for what's in store. Now, I'd like to say the news of the new volume was the reason I started working on this video essay, but that couldn't be further from the truth. I decided to rewatch RWBY on a whim, after realizing there was absolutely nothing I felt compelled to watch in my free time. I was immediately swept back into the world by the endearing characters and, frankly, inspired world building. Monty Oum, rest his soul, was nothing short of a savant when working on RWBY. That man created, directed, wrote, animated, and voice acted for the series, and it showed through the quality of the show. Monty worked until Volume 3, where he unfortunately passed away, before finishing the volume in its entirety. For those who don't know, RWBY is heavily influenced by fairy tale stories. The influence starts with the main characters themselves, RWBY being Little Red Riding Hood, Yang being Goldilocks, Blake being Beauty from Beauty and the Beast, and Weiss being Snow White, and extends to secondary characters like Ozpin's Inner Circle of Glinda the Good Witch, Ironwood the Tin Man, Lionheart the Cowardly Lion, Crow the Scarecrow, and Oz being the Wizard of Oz himself. These inspirations made for a deeper understanding of each character's motivations and displayed themselves heavily across their individual storylines. RWBY was first introduced as a bright-eyed, prospective huntress, with her childlike nature having yet been challenged by the dark and dangerous world she resided in, her big bad wolf. This was a great entry point for viewers, as it allowed us to learn about the world alongside her and her team. The dialogue was tasteful for those first 3 volumes, short and silly, and then bam! An action scene. It all flowed quite well and had good pacing to boot. The use of CGI, although janky by today's standards, allowed for scenes to be choreographed insanely well, and likely made it easier to incorporate the intricate weapons that each character used. What's impressive is how each character had their own fighting styles, weapons, and abilities, without fights feeling overwhelming and illogical. Monty was seamlessly able to demonstrate each of these characters' unique traits and have them build upon each other's strengths in battles to maintain that fresh feeling from all of the fights he choreographed. Each character was allowed to shine without feeling as if they had been forced into that position by the narrative. I can't say the same for later volumes. Unfortunately, as abilities like Weiss's summoning sort of came up, they became a crutch, and the fight scenes rarely relied on the combination of individual abilities. They also started using their weapons more like guns, so it was to the point that physical combat that Monty had established was being neglected, and it was especially egregious at the top of Volume 4. The weapons in this series are next level. The fact that everyone has a unique weapon as a reflection of themselves is a feat upon itself, but they're also all guns. For someone so skilled at fight scenes as Monty, this edition must have opened a world of possibilities. These weapons can have moving parts, like how Crow's sword becomes a scythe, or they can incorporate dust and dust bullets for even more fight variety. Monty set himself up with an arsenal of possibilities, but it has to be said that he was likely the only person capable of utilizing that arsenal to the fullest extent. When he passed, magic and semblances took the forefront of the story. While these are essential parts of the established world, focusing on them meant something else needed to lose focus. We went from Penny and Pyrrha's epic fight in the arena to whatever the hell that was with Cordovan. Speaking of Penny and Pyrrha's fight, you know something is written well when you don't know how you got to that point, but it also makes perfect sense. Monty clearly had a plan with Pyrrha's semblance. All the secrecy around it at the start of the series, it paid off in this fight. And I have to gush about Penny's swords. Unlike most of the other weapons in the series, they aren't guns, but they make a giant laser. And having her weapons be swords on strings, who thinks of that? It's like Zoro from One Piece with his 3-sword style. And look, if you think I'm gushing too hard, I get it. But once I get past Volume 3, my praises get fewer and far between, so just let me have this. The series after Volume 3 took a very melodramatic tone. Given Pyrrha's death, it's understandable. But Yang's whole personality just became complaining, and RWBY started to be a bit of a
BICTH
Continuing with that trend, John started to get stereotyped as the idea guy and weakened even after his armor upgrade. Nora's whole personality became Ren, be strong and hit stuff, and Ren, I like what they did with Ren. They also all turn on Ozpin for the dumbest reason. Yes, he neglected to tell them things. Yes, the fate of the world relied on that information. But also, he's the most seasoned person they know. He's shown time and time again to be on the side of humans through his efforts in the academies and all of their individual growth. Given the melodramatic nature of that whole experience, it's a wonder anything happened in that season at all. They even leaned heavier into the despair angle with the apathy subplot. It made the show so slow and tedious when volumes 1 through 3 were filled to the brim with physical and emotional action. And don't get me started on Maria Calavera. This lady, it's such a cool concept with a grim reaper, but just adding her to the party and letting her hear everything with Ozpin was such a poor introduction. You guys couldn't have taken a few steps away, If we were going to add a new character, it shouldn't have been during what you want to be a huge pivotal scene, which is what they were going for with the Ozpin reveal. And her having had silver eyes, are you kidding? How many silver-eyed people do you assume are in Remnant? I would say not that many, given Oz's reaction to Ruby in the first episode. This character was shoehorned in as filler. Her only purpose was to move the Silver Eyes plotline along. It's essentially forcing you to focus on the Silver Eyes instead of all of the other cool aspects of Ruby. This lady was forcing the plot to move because it had hit such a standstill. We used to have multiple things going on with different characters at once, but after Volume 3, my character permanence as a viewer was reduced to only knowing they exist if they are in my face at all times. I would also like to complain about the atrocities that are Blake and Weiss's Volume 8 character designs. What were we thinking? Weiss's hair is so freaking clunky. It is such a departure from anything we've ever seen from her in the past. And Blake's outfit looks so constricting. I don't mind her short hair, but it's also not a great look in the way that it's being animated that volume. I also didn't like Crow's new design. It's too much. The red shoulders, the weird vest, the lacy arms. Less is more, people. This is a lackadaisical character that's been fitted with the most stuffy outfit I've ever seen. Conversely, I do like Ruby and Yang's designs. Ruby's hair shows how she's matured over the series, at minimum in her age, while Yang just looks good. To wrap up what I'm trying to say here, Monty Oum was a genius, and the show lost a lot of its charm after his passing. Questionable plot elements, characters, and character designs became more prevalent over time, and the fight scene choreography became less complex. I'm extremely happy the team was able to continue this amazing franchise, and while it is different, there are things to be enjoyed. We got this far. Thank you all for tuning in. It is a pleasure to be back. And like, comment, subscribe, you know the drill. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.